A big penis.
Okay, so we're back,
We're
fresh
already
from the
a minute
cinema.
in. Yes. Yeah, yeah, fresh from the cinema. Yes.
Yeah. And what did we see at the cinema?
A big penis. Because you can't get away from it. It's in your face.
I mean, it was.
That's literally the first thing. I remember I looked at Tom like, that's a big fucking dick!
28 inches later.
Yeah.
I watched that film.
That
Yeah.
thing was.
It's
It
huge.
had a mind of its own, didn't it?
I loved it.
I bet
I mean, I love the film. I love the
I love
film.
the way that when he was actually running through the train, it's like the camera just focused on it.
Yeah. It's just like, whoop.
being an iPhone, do you think it just automatically focused?
Yeah.
It looks like his own head.
Yeah.
I reckon there was no
yeah.
music that you just hear this on every single chair as we ran
Yeah.
through. Just fuck. But anyway, this is our quick hot take on 28 years later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some scenes in it that I don't want to talk about because I don't feel comfortable with them, and I need to think about them alone privately.
Okay.
The train scene, past the penis. I need to think
Wait, past the penis.
past penis or
It was pre. I think if I'm thinking the same thing,
oh,
you're
pre,
thinking.
yeah, pre-penis, yeah,
Pre-penis.
pre-penis,
Lord have mercy.
yeah, pre-penis. I need to think about the train scene pre-penis.
Yeah. For me, and I've said this a few times, it reminded me of the film Army of the Dead. I think, because that was a very similar.
Well, when I went into Las Vegas
Yes.
and they were trying to get the money and it went terribly wrong.
Because if you can remember, they had like an alpha there, and there was
Did
also
he have a big
like
penis
the,
too?
the
They
somewhat
did,
the wife
yeah.
situation in the film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it
Yeah, I
was,
never thought of it like that.
yeah, it was a very similar. For me, that was a
Okay.
very similar like scenario. It just brought back a memory of that when I was watching it.
I like it. I like it.
Mm.
Yeah, but apart from that, I think it stayed in the same kind of like 28 years later, 28 days later realm.
Yeah.
Like with the certain scenes were like, even though it was filmed in an iPhone and it was all like, look how fancy it is. There was like graininess to it, which reminded me of the first film,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
liked. It made you feel like the fact that it still had the same writing. It wasn't all like new and flash. It kept it exactly the same.
Well, you
Which
get
I
that
like.
nostalgic feeling from it.
Yeah. Only thing that was missing was the music from the original. I'd have loved that if it was in,
Mm.
you know, running down the penis. No, wait, running down the train with the penis, and yeah, that would have been good. That would have finished me off. That
we can't do this seriously, can we? No, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Not the penis. No, it was a very enjoyable film, in my opinion.
yeah,
I think what it has brought to our attention is, like, it left it on a big cliffhanger.
Mm.
And unfortunately, there was a lot of people reacting to it as, well, they're
Yeah.
very disappointed because they clearly said that they don't understand the ending. Well, of course you don't.
it's meant to make
It's
you want the
leading
new
on
one,
for
yeah.
the next one, which has already been announced.
Yeah, in
but-
January apparently.
Yes.
So we'll have to do another review
Another
Oh
review.
no.
about more penises.
Mm.
But have you heard about, like, it all being prosthetics? Is this the penis envy coming?
No, where do I buy one?
They couldn't, like, obviously be nude in front of the young lad, Spike.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I guess so.
So,
So you reckon the guy that actually played him had a wang and they just like put a prosthetic?
could well be. I
Do you
mean,
think it
we're
was like
never.
a suit trouser pants, or do you reckon they just like
Like
extendo dicko?
it would probably be like a pair of boxers or something like that.
Mm.
Again, please send me the link.
It's like one of those elephant pants.
They just spray painted it grey.
Yeah, exactly. That's all they've done. Added
mean,
a
it
few
was a
veins
trunk.
and that was it.
Yeah.
Big old bush.
If there was you watched it. You really saw that penis, didn't you?
Let's just say there was a video zoomed in.
Just put his phone out.
It's just the memes that came afterwards. So
Oh
great.
my word!
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
It's
Like
the
the-
William Dafoe one.
Yeah.
No,
we
God.
yeah, but we stayed offline, didn't we?
Mm.
And then, lo and behold, yeah, already there's so
so
many.
Yeah,
So
Penis.
so many. But
related.
putting that to one side,
There is something about penises.
yeah, the film itself was very, very good.
Yeah, I can't
Yes.
wait to see the next one. I'd like to
Mm.
see it again because when I go to the cinema, you sit there and you're strapped in for like an hour and a half, 2 hours,
Yeah.
like
Mm.
watching it.
The
So I
opening
want
was
to
great.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The opening was so,
It's
like
kind of-
as Danny Boyle said, very suffocating
Yeah.
because there was no time to process what was going on. You knew
Mm.
that this was the tail, like the beginning of the outrage, because
Yeah.
that's the thing that we never saw from 28 days later. Once the virus was out
Mm.
and
Cillian Murphy was awake.
yeah,
Mm.
that was it. There was the aftermath,
You
but we
don't
never
see
saw
actually-
what took place.
Yeah, you see people changing, but you don't see like how everyone changed.
Yeah, I tell you
And,
what, that
yeah,
that
being
scene,
children as well, I think it kind of hit like a bit like, oh, cool, they're just gonna kill Chris Shelton.
Yeah,
and I had to put a
beginning
Teletubbies
scene.
in as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
so good.
that was a brilliant beginning scene
Yeah,
because it was
great.
brutal.
But it was also kind of
includes-
brutal for people that never seen it. Like, you know,
Mm.
you jade your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you're like, I watched it when I was younger, and this film's like an extension, like years later on. And
Mm.
you go, oh, yeah, cool. Would you want to watch 28 Days Later?
Yeah.
And they go, no, I'll just go see it.
Can you imagine that the people who, let's say, they've reached at that point, like because it was a 15, which was quite surprising.
Yeah, when
I
it was
didn't
at
expect
15, I was
that.
like, oh.
So imagine 15-year-old were to witness what it was like back then. Box TVs, the
Mm.
CD rack that was in like a
Ah,
an
yeah,
S
yeah,
shape.
yeah. nostalgia stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
And they're probably looking at it thinking, what, TVs were like that before? You know,
Yeah.
it just
And next thing you know, some geezer's ripping someone's head off and he's got a massive schlong.
yeah, that's it.
Because being a 15, I was like, you actually saw that head come off.
Yeah, and
That's
it
rough.
was the whole. Well, let's say the tunnel sale. I don't know. Obviously, it's been out for a while now, so people may or may not have
Oh,
seen
yeah.
it. But when they was in the tunnel,
Spoiler alert, should have started
and
with
it
that.
just used that to
Oh yeah, a lot of people were trying to identify what was the object.
the penis on the head.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. No, a lot of people thought that when they look back upon it, they thought
Mm.
that the trailer was edited in a way that the soldier's head
Mm.
was disguised as a branch. A lot of people said that, you know, this alpha
Mm.
was being very creative and decided to use, because of it being a dam,
Mm.
was basically this deserted dam or abandoned dam, and he decided to use like a branch or something to knock Seven Bells out of the NATO soldiers.
Mm.
But yeah, lo and behold, the alpha
was-
was creative.
Yeah, honestly, that was a pretty good scene because I liked
Mm.
how they obviously they thought they were somewhat secure and safe.
Mm.
You know, as they got into there, people were still coming, but you have that eerie feeling where
Mm.
you know something's behind.
Yeah.
It's that typical kind
Yeah,
of horror film.
Absolutely. The build up
Yes, but-
was leading up to a point where you just knew full well
Mm.
that it's going to happen,
Mm.
regardless. But the curiosity of you comes into play. Like the curiosity for me
Yeah.
was, how is it going to play out?
Yeah.
That was the thing that really captivated me.
Yeah. It was good.
But
I need to see it again.
it also as well, now it's been released and it's, you know, it's out there, the cast list has increased, so you now know who plays who, because a lot of people, and I think a lot of people still are under this impression that there's only one alpha,
Mm.
but if they haven't watched it, then
Mm.
that's the assumption that they're going with. But we're, like, as we discovered,
Mm.
there are two
Because there's the one at the start.
at the very beginning. Yeah,
Yeah.
the one that
Yeah.
chases them down the
That's
causeway.
a bloody
Yeah.
good scene.
That was great.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you know they're not going to get caught because you're like, it's the first bit of the film. Like,
Yeah.
They can't die.
Yeah.
But that geezer was chasing them. You're literally like, run a bit faster then.
Yeah.
Just quickly run, go.
Well, to be honest, the scene just before that, where they're running through the woods,
Mm.
was probably my favourite scene
Mm.
from the whole film.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. It was
That
intense,
was
but
that
actually
was
Yeah.
very
filmed.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
running through and then shot after shot after
Yeah.
shot. You know,
Yeah.
father son, and
Mm.
that was
You
very
were saying it
good.
reminded you like God of War, didn't you?
Yeah,
Like the whole.
yeah, yeah. The
I like
Atreus and that. And, you know, the first one where he's not very good.
Yeah, he's a little bitch.
Yeah, he's not good.
Mm. No, I will happily watch it again. If
Yeah.
need be.
Mm.
I thought it was really good. The ending, that's something that's caught my eye, because
Yeah. Well, it's got a lot of stick, hasn't it, already?
a lot of people,
it?
yeah. Well, I
Mm.
mean, the big spoiler is that they look like
Yes,
Jimmy Savile.
but that's the era of the film, though.
But then
It
people
is.
who I don't want to say the word. A lot of people who have the opinionated people,
Mm.
they're like, they can't do that. This is this and that, and it's like the film isn't doing it because it's like, oh, how funny would this be?
Mm.
It's like they're stuck in 2002.
Yep, that's
yeah,
it.
because the kid
Yeah.
unfortunately didn't know what a phone was,
Yeah.
and I'm guessing like plastic surgery and
Yeah, and like all
Oh,
like
that's
lip
it.
filler
Yeah.
and stuff.
Mm.
But it was like, there was a lot of comedy put into it, but it wasn't like push comedy. It was almost like natural comedy. Like it's almost like just to remind you guys that we are stuck here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like all the stuff that's happened around the world and out of England
Yeah.
has moved on to like our sort of time now.
Mm.
But they're stuck in 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have literally stopped time.
Yeah.
And if anything, and that's something that I noticed throughout the film, when the father and son take that first outing,
Mm.
you notice that Danny Boyle's inserted clips of like knights in ready for battle,
Mm.
and then you got the archers at the top of the castle firing,
Yeah.
and it's kind of symbolizing, in my opinion, that this is the era that they've got themselves into.
They've gone back to like medieval.
Yeah,
They
like
had
Dark
to,
Ages
yeah.
and
They've
all,
got they've got no electricity really. They've got
Mm.
No. It's I think it's just well executed. There was obviously some questionable scenes, but that's obviously a matter of opinion.
yeah.
Mm.
That's what it comes down to.
Shoot me the
But,
fucker.
but no, I think it was good. I think even Ralph, who plays Dr. Kelson,
Yeah.
I thought
There was not one character I was like,
Harry
yeah,
Potter.
you're a
Yeah.
pointless
Yeah.
character.
I
Right?
couldn't- I couldn't
yeah,
resist
holding
saying
a
that
different
one.
type of wand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when he went to cut off the
Well, he tried to get like that's another thing in itself. That was the very questionable moment because
It's
my
the best.
eyebrows started raising as he
which bit he
went.
cut it off.
Oh my word! It was straight
It's
after
great.
the train scene.
Yeah.
He's managed to like
Yeah.
somewhat stop the Alpha in its
Mm.
tracks, and the Alpha's still holding on to the head of that NATO soldier.
Mm.
But it's how he went down to get it. It's like, did you really have to
No.
crouch
Yeah, he knew what he was
to
doing.
be in line with his appendage? Yeah, literally.
And I think that was cleverly done. There's like, oh my god, they just like you thought he would make a spoof about the Alpha's
Yeah.
genitalia,
Yeah.
but and then you're like, y'all got me.
Yeah.
No, it
But,
was
yeah,
very good.
good film. Would recommend it.
Mm.
Mm.
I did like how it ended in the way where you can see where the second one is going to go.
Yeah,
to.
they've 100% set it up
Yeah.
for a second one.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And the
really
thing is,
have.
you might not even see anything like that in the second. Because you mentioned there might be 3.
There has been announced that there are 3 films.
From what I
But-
know, the second one's already been filmed and done,
It sounds like.
and the third one they're waiting for it to be greenlit officially.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know whether they're trialing out the first 2 in order to complete
Yeah.
to complete that trilogy.
Mm.
But from my understanding, because of how they had to set up Holy Island, the Causeway, all of that, it sounds like they've done all 3 in one go.
Yeah, probably
Fair.
in specific
Because if you really want
locations and stuff.
locations, the actors, the people who play
Although
them,
it's
like,
like Spike,
Well, look
that'll
at
grow up quick.
yeah,
Look
Yeah.
at Stranger Things, where they were filming stuff, and between one of the seasons, the other season, like, they're all adults now.
Mm.
There's like Avatar. They've had to have the kids filming for the last like 10 years, whatever it was,
Mm.
yeah,
film all these new films coming out because they waited like a year or 2 to get these films sorted.
mm.
Like he's gonna be an adult. Aaron Johnson Taylor be granddad.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
true. That's true. But
Punching holes in walls.
yeah. No, and Jodie, don't forget Jodie Comer. Is it
Mm.
Comer or Comer?
Mm.
Girl from Killing Eve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. I thought she was great.
Yeah, there wasn't a bad cast member in there. Everyone had their own little like. There wasn't
Mm.
like, oh, you're just like a little add-on. Everyone had a good little part to play,
Mm.
And they certainly did. They certainly did.
especially the Alpha.
Yeah. But I don't know if I said to you a little while ago, I managed to find out who the first Alpha was.
Mm.
And I think he is a British Olympian.
And does he play volleyball?
Yes.
Oh.
His
Guy's
name-
like 8 foot something.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
He's ridiculously tall. He goes
Like
by the
proper
name
tall,
of
lanky.
Chris Gregory.
Damn.
He's
There's like living giant.
Literally, yeah.
yeah, he's a tall man.
Mm.
But unfortunately, a lot of people have noticed the way he was running down that causeway
Yeah.
because they couldn't. Obviously, they learned that the second alpha was called Samson.
Mm.
They never had a name for the first one.
Mm.
But if you wanted to read the dialogue and all of that, it turns out his name is Berserker.
Nice.
But they didn't. Nobody knows that, and I still think a lot of people don't know that
Mm.
because they refer him as high knees zombie.
High knees.
High knees
Because of how he's running down
because
the
it was how he was running down
Yeah.
the causeway.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
was. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
going for it though.
Yeah.
Doof, 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 doof.
There is a
This-
really lovely shot of where you've got the father and son running away and they're panicking.
Mm.
And you can see him in the distance, but because of the amount of water he's kicking up from running so fast,
Mm.
it's outlined him
And
perfectly in the background.
Damn.
And it's the most eerie photo. And the nice thing about it is that there has been no editing to it.
Mm.
It's just a caption in the moment. All of the lighting's in place.
Mm.
You know, the acting, and someone thought, that's a great shot.
Mm.
Because you can just see the shadow of that alpha
Yeah.
in the background.
Mm.
I mean, it would have been hysterical if you just saw this.
Slong.
Yeah.
Just wagging around in
Yeah,
the background.
exactly,
It was
yeah.
great.
Well, I
But-
tripped him up.
Yeah, can you imagine? He was screaming because he tread on it or something like that.
But all in all, like watching that film, I wasn't bored watching it. Like it was.
No,
it kept
and there
me-
were certain bits to it that you knew you were watching that brought back, even when you saw a few infected,
Mm.
Yeah.
and you were like, it did bring back some like old school memories
Mm.
of just like, oh, this feels like a 28. This feels like a 28 film,
Yeah.
Mm.
feels like an old school film.
Yeah. I think that's another thing as well. The reason why Danny Boyle went for the iPhone, I don't think it was necessarily like a status per se to say like, we're going to use an Apple phone because we can. I think it was all down to the fact that he's keeping to his tradition, which
Mm.
is he didn't have a great budget for 28 days later.
Yeah.
So his filming equipment wasn't necessarily the best
Mm.
Mm.
because he was more interested in getting the actors, making sure that the writing was great and
Yeah.
the location especially because, you know,
Mm.
trying to film London at such a quiet time and having a double decker on its side.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, we all work in London
Yeah,
occasionally.
no,
I have seen
And-
double deck on its side. London riots.
No, right. it's-
sometimes we do it.
we do it, yeah. If we just want to get in the right lane.
Mm.
But I think that grainy footage that you were mentioning about is the absolute reason why he decided to use an iPhone.
Mm.
Because they are great, they are good phones, but it's not as great as like maybe what Christopher Nolan would use.
Yeah, like the
Mm.
big old IMAX
Yeah.
cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it raw. That's all that matters.
I think you're just proving like you don't have to have like millions of pounds of equipment to make a good film.
No,
Mm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he spent, I don't know how many iPhones that man used, but that rig in itself had 22.
Jeez.
Boy must have a good contract vote too.
Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah, he got himself a really nice deal.
Yeah.
But I ended up looking up the cases he
Mm.
used and the attachments.
All of Timu.
Yeah, all of Timu, yeah, wish.
No.
It's
His
got-
order took 28 years to get here.
It's called Beast Grip. It's not like, yeah, I know, but
Right.
but you can put any lens that you want, any lens. If you had
Okay.
like a Canon
Yeah.
camera, if you wanted that lens to be on your phone,
Mm.
you can because of that case. So
There are other cases though.
yeah,
Other cases are available. Yeah.
so you know that combined with the phones, I mean, yeah, it's not a massive amount when it comes to movie.
Oh yeah,
budgets.
compared to like, imagine if you were buying like the big, proper big ones. But
I think he spent in total 75 million.
compared to some films that are out now, though.
Yeah, some of them
Yeah.
go into the hundreds and hundreds. Like,
Yeah,
they don't even
easily.
see a return on that.
Easily.
No.
Especially with cinema nowadays, it's a bit of a dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that film, that was one of the films you want to go to the cinema and
Mm.
see.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
one of those films you're like, I want to
Yeah.
go see this.
Yeah.
There's been a few big hitters, but you're like, am I bothered about it?
Mm.
But yeah, I think you're right. He focused mainly on story, and again, for the first one, got some good actors in, and then went, this is the story, and this is what I want to tell you. I don't want to be like, this is a shit story, but with really good cameras.
Mm.
It's just like, here's a story, and the camera quality is good.
Mm.
It's good enough.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's my opinion on it.
If you had to choose one moment in that film, what was your favourite?
Favorite moment. In the bit in the house
Ooh.
when the alpha was just staring at the house,
Mm.
not almost like staring at them, like, but he knew there's someone in there,
Mm.
and I'm gonna stand here just
And-
like
and wait,
lifeless,
yeah.
like a tree.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I was like, that made me feel uneasy, but I was like, it just shows you how like the other zombies are just like walking around,
Mhm.
and he's just like looking like, nah, I ain't done.
Yeah.
Like, makes you think like, oh, they are getting
Yeah.
smarter.
Mm.
They're evolving.
Yeah.
Made you
yeah.
think. They made you go, why has he done this?
Well, even like the little fat ones that are on the ground.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I can't.
low.
What are they called?
Low and slows.
Low and slows. Yeah. So it's like having those as well. It's like they are introducing different types. It's not
Mm.
just the
Yeah.
runners anymore.
No. No.
You know.
Well,
But that was another thing I quite liked. As much as in the first 28 days later, everyone's clothed still, but in this one, it's 28 years later. They've all been running around. There's hardly any clothes left
Yeah,
because
or
they're all
they've been,
tattered and
or
ruined.
they've been malnourished and stuff, so they've
Yeah.
just been like falling off.
Yeah.
And,
Mm. So that was a good little like adage for it.
no, so what was your favourite bit then?
Oh, was that forest scene?
The forest thing.
Yeah,
Forest scene.
that 100%.
What about you?
It has to be the
Thomas?
causeway.
The bit when he's being chased.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when
Mm.
they eventually leave the house because it's basically collapsed
Mm.
and they have no choice but to go. And they're thinking, oh, we made it safely. And I think they had to take their boots off before they
Mhm,
had to
yeah,
go because the
yeah.
tide was still up or
Mm.
still out. So I was in, sorry. And then as they're walking along and they could hear like the footsteps.
Just a thud.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. Especially like that bird's eye view, essentially.
hmm
It was very dark, and for someone who's got bad eyes, I'm looking at it like, okay, where is he? I didn't have to squint or anything. You could see him
Just like the
leave
splashing.
the forest
Mm.
over the shore, and then that was it. He was it's just gunning for them.
Mm.
Yeah.
I thought it was just great. It's annoying though because I kind of wanted Alpha to be more involved, I suppose.
Yeah.
I-
When
I-
you do start seeing him more involved, he just keeps getting knocked out
Yeah.
Mm.
with drugs, and you're like, oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
he's asleep now.
Well, with what happened in it, maybe that the second one will have him more involved because
Mm.
he just seemed to be gunning for it now.
Well, he died, didn't he?
That
Oh,
one
not
died.
that. Oh, that one did.
Yeah.
But the other one's looking for.
Yeah.
It's like he's looking for something, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm.
Spoilers.
Mm.
But quickly before we end this little
Yeah.
tiny review, that's been a big one.
Yep.
There are rumours that I've seen that apparently they reckon that Aaron Johnson Taylor's character will become an alpha.
Yeah.
Because there's bits in the trailer that kind of skip between him, and the anger that's in him when he just randomly starts punching walls and stuff
Mm.
in the house. People are saying like he's going to get infected and he's going to turn into an alpha because of the rage he has inside of him.
Mm.
Most likely. Do you think that's because he's going to go out and find his son?
Mm.
Mm.
Maybe. Who knows?
And then get
Well-
touched by Jimmy Savile.
Yeah. God, it doesn't help as well that the guy's name is called Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Jim's called Jim from the first one.
Yeah.
Maybe he started the cult. He's like, you know what?
That's something I'm interested in. Like,
Yeah.
because
Where they're gonna go with
the talk of Cillian Murphy making an appearance,
Mm.
it would be interesting to see where he's going to be and what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Who knows? We shall find out.
We shall.
Because I am interested to see like where the cults kind of lead because it was like the film like Apocalypto, or not Apocalypto. I can't remember. It's like I think it's Sandra Bullock was in one of them. But it's like you go into Scotland, I think it was,
Right.
and there's all the different cults and stuff up there now. There's all like, you've got a medieval one, but then you've got a biker gang, and you've got all these
Yeah.
different things just going on. So it'd be nice to see.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, no doubt we're going to have many conspiracy theories, but we've watched it, we enjoyed it, and now we've just got to wait patiently until next year.
Yes. Very exciting.
Very exciting.
It's not even that far away.
No?
No, God no. We're, what, less than 6 months now?
Yeah.
So,
Buzzing.
but
Buzzing.
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 And then we can tell people about the next one too.
Yes.
There we go.
Nice.
Well, shall we?
Thank you for
So should we get one of those?
Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, why not?
God, you'll break it with your fucking hand. Anyway,
Anyway.
this was a 28 years later review. Love you, bye.
Yeah, almost 28 minutes long. Right.
Oh, should I make it 28 minutes? We're not in 26 minutes. We just sit here now in silence.
Just a silence. No, I'm gonna cut it.